ground, you're about to die? That's convenient.
That's unfortunate. But we made it. We made it into draft phase, thank God.
SuperMassive Esports on the blue side, Hard Random on the red. This is the final game in the regular stage matches for here at IWCI. First seed on the line, Rise, Anivia, Trundle. Rat Bands coming out for SuperMassive Esport, whereas Ezreal, Echo, so far the picks for Hard Random.
I get it because they spelled rat.
They do spell rat.
I didn't. I was like, Twitch isn't banned. What are you talking about? Are you blind? I know it's been 6 games, but you need to calm down.
I've only seen the rat once this tournament, and probably will never see him again, given the struggle that's...
Leon Gaming was Saya.
Saya, thank you. I tried to say Straya.
The only reason I can really remember that one, because I like made little flashcards, is like Super Saiyan. I don't know why, but if people like he's one of the best players in the region. I was like, he's Super Saiyan.
Got it.
Nailed it.
Gonna have to enter the hyperbolic time chamber there. Latin American regions.
This is going quick and fast, though.
Yeah, very much so. Maokai already going to be locked in for SuperMassive. Huge priority on that top laner, but Poppy and Bard responded with on the other side for Hard Random. We said Bard was going to be a priority, but it makes it through the pick ban phase completely uncontested.
That's terrifying. Graves also isn't being contested at all. In fact, it's Nidalee being looked at. My thing about Nidalee is she's one of the fastest jungler clear times in the game. I think that if you can play Nidalee, you always should. I know that everyone likes the Graves. Graves has been super powerful, but never mind.
The thing is, we haven't seen too many people who are comfortable playing the Nidalee, as the Lucian and the Graves will be the final lock-ins for SuperMassive Esports. And if you're not, if you can't, you got to study yourself. If you can play it, you should. And I don't know if we've seen that quite, that level from SuperMassive Esports yet, where they are comfortable busting out the Nidalee.
That said, you have, I mean, frankly, just very standard picks from SuperMassive. Obviously, with the Silver Band, they go for the Lucian, so looking for lane dominance. Graves works perfectly with Maokai, setting him up for lane dominance if he's in a 1v1, making the most of that twisted advance into the canister. On the other side, though, Hard Random, now looking at their own Nidalee.
Definitely an option for them. We'll have to see. Kindred, of course, available as well. Once again, the hallmark of this tournament has been that people have not, outside of Revolta, no one has been very comfortable playing the Nidalee. So it would not surprise me to see the Kindred locked in here.
Kindred, Kalista, no.
Looks like it's going to be Nidalee. Kalista as well. So the Nidalee, a lot of pressure on the PvP Stalos to bust this one out, but he has the power in his hands now with this pick.
Okay. The reason why I like Kindred and Kalista is because your monster objective control is unreal. That said, Nidalee has an insanely fast clear time. Like you said, it's really only been Revolta that's been able to perform on this champion so far. We'll see if Stejos can turn it around, especially because he just came off a great Gragas performance, so probably following that momentum.
Interesting to see how this one develops, because these are both junglers that like to fight, that like to get scrappy, but that can also farm up if they need to and still provide a relative impact. Nidalee so effective at making those picks, at chasing down the team, but Graves, such a powerful team fighter overall. Final picks, though, coming in for SuperMassive Esports as the Thresh and LeBlanc are picked up. Naru, liking the feel of that aggressive champ after his game earlier today, is going to pick it up for himself. And Dumbledoge wants a playmaking support. It may not be a Bard, but a Thresh may do just as well.
I love how Dumbledoge is not backing down. He sees Licorice's Bard, he's like, you want a 2v2? You want to dance? Let's go. Picks Thresh.
This is the exact matchup when these guys played in the regular stage, too. They did the same thing, the showdown. The Bard versus this Thresh.
It's excellent.
Pretty awesome. I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for this one. These guys are both incredible support players, big playmakers. You just have to wonder which one is going to find the opportunity to make a bigger impact. Kalista Bard versus Lucian Thresh.
Oh, the Gangplank.
Ooh, maybe a bold call here from Hard Random. It's been a while since we've seen a Gangplank in this tournament, but Kira is going to take that one into the mid lane versus LeBlanc. Eat some oranges, might be K. Taking the time to farm up as well, so interesting composition coming in here from Hard Random. A lot of power in the mid lane, but it's going to take a long time to get online.
They have a lot of different tools. I mean, you have siege potential with Nidalee, Gangplank, and Kalista. You have pick potential with Bard. Just kind of a really weird comp across the board. I'm curious how they're going to execute it. Like, all the champions are really good, but just how they fit together is interesting to me. On the other side, it's much more like a Siege 5v5 comp from SuperMassive. You've got great Siege potential from LeBlanc and Lucian, just because the poke potential from LeBlanc when people are underneath tower to like distortion in and quickly distort back. Graves and Lucian, excellent at pushing towers. Obviously, you have non-committal CC in the death sentence from Dumbledoge versus hard flank CC from Maokai there.
And we've seen the strength of these kind of champions in pick scenarios as well on the side of SuperMassive. You got the Thresh, potential hook in the jungle, Flay in the jungle, any kind of opportunity to make those picks. You've got the damage from the Graves and the LeBlanc to follow it up. So a lot of raw power here. However, on the opposite side, as you said, the composition is not unknown. We know what it is, but we have no idea what they're going to do with it. They have decent objective control with the Cannon Barrage, or decent global, sorry, with the Cannon Barrage, with Bard for that long-range playmaking. They have
a bit of everything.
They have disengage with the Poppy. They have disengage with the Fates Call. They have engage with the Poppy, engage with the Fates Call. They've got damage with the Gangplank. They got AoE. I mean, you're right. It's a bit of everything.
That's what's weird about it.
It's really bizarre.
It covers everything, and it doesn't just do like one thing really well. But here we go. This is the final match of the group stage, and we're playing for first seed.
SuperMassive on the blue side, Hard Random, right? SuperMassive building up the pick and the siege potential, whereas Hard Random are looking to be the jack of all trades. Hopefully the master of them too. They can make this composition work.
And we're seeing not a blind lane swap, but a very deliberate invade level 1 coming out of Hard Random.
Clearly both teams taking this very seriously. We have not seen an invade like this almost for the entirety of the regular matches.
And we talked about this, as I was saying before. I got the chance to chat with Carbon between games, and we were talking about why blind lane swaps are so popular. And the thing is in a level 1, you pretty much guarantee that the lane swap is going down because you put your wards down where you're getting the necessary information. In a blind lane swap, it's more so about putting the enemy team at a disadvantage because you're trying to send your support in to slow down the enemy jungler.
Interesting now as Bard picks up that Chime. We'll have to see how much he can slow down the opposition. The ward will spot him moving into the jungle. So they will be prepared for this kind of interrupt tactic. Thresh and Callista, or sorry, not Thresh. Thresh and Lucian moving in as well. It's interesting how this is shaping up, Bard.
This is frankly a massive error. See if they're going to do anything about it. So why this is an error from SuperMassive as well as from Hard Random is that the junglers are starting on their weak side. Again, we know for a fact the lane swap is going in, and we know for a fact that everyone has information about where everyone's starting because the deep level 1 wards went down in the jungle as opposed to a fan in the river. So you cannot start on your weak side because they'll just invade you. They're not invading to check for information, they're invading because they know exactly where you're starting and they're setting up a trap. So in return, it forces a flash out of Stehos.
Yeah, pretty massive misplay there overall. Slows down the jungle timing of Thaldrin and Stomage as well.
It's almost like both the teams had forgotten how to play with a level 1 invade and just started weak side because previously in a blind lane swap you could.
Yeah, it's just very bizarre that these teams, but they're adapting to it anyway. Despite falling behind in the early game, they have shifted their attention back over this tower. They are back on track, but an interesting little hiccup there in the early game.
Yep, fine now, but this is pretty standard. See who's going to... I mean, what's most important with the lane swap is not necessarily the tower going down, but who's going to be the primary benefactor of the tower, and if the teams will push through or what happens after the tower.
Interesting overall. Of course, Lucian, as we talked about time and time again, that double tap passive, making it pretty easy for him to burn through these ones. And low health bars kind of across the board in this lane swap, not always something we see. Hard Random taking a lot in their brief exchanges there.
Oh, great bounce here from SuperMassive. Whereas on the other side, Hard Random taking a little bit longer. So again, we'll see if SuperMassive get any sort of advantage over the small window of time where the towers didn't go down immediately. Likewise, Hard Random not getting near... Those creeps doing not enough damage as I thought. I was going to say not getting near the same sort of bounce, but in the end they get a perfect bounce.
Yeah, perfect bounce. Exactly what they wanted out of that situation. Stehos, despite glowing that flash early, now doing very well to farm up. Already level 4, double buffs. This is the power of that Nidalee like we talked about. Quick hop over the wall to make it out to safety.
But this is the thing. So SuperMassive have the advantage because they...
Oh. Dumbledore, this is what we want. There goes the Ignite. Here could come Primera Sangre. It's going to be the blood of the cat. It's going to start the game off.
This sounds so basic, but literally the fact that they got the tower earlier on the bottom, I was talking about that small window of time where Hard Random had fallen behind. SuperMassive just executed on it. That tiny 5 to 10 seconds allows the bot lane to get in position faster to find Stayhost and kill him for first blood and trade over double buff.
Exactly where they want to be, too, especially with the Chu itemizing Cole. It pretty much cancels out any disadvantage you get from buying that item early on and can't be hurting whatsoever at this stage of the game. Is farm even there, but the kill going over to Lucian is a pretty big boon and slows down Nidalee immensely. Great play from Dumbledoge and a Chu.
See what they're able to do with this double buff is we now have the gentleman's agreement to continue to pushing these side lanes. That said, it is a two-person push down here as Smurf is running up the lane versus a 3-man push up top. So again, SuperMassive going to have the edge and taking this tower down earlier.
We'll have to see if they can make another use of that small window. Of course, double buffs for the Lucian, going to make it even easier to burn through that turret. Steos actually going to start this dragon, hopefully maybe trying to get a little bit of the advantage back that he lost from giving up that first blood. Won't be too relevant now, but of course the advantage will scale as they push further into the game. Once again, Smurf trying to bounce the wave here.
He's got his bot lane hovering underneath him. And because there's no response, since Hard Random have decided to commit onto the dragon objective, they will be able to get this wave underneath the tower, possibly some chip damage. Hard Random now pulling the trigger for the recall.
Not going to get the tower, though, yet.
So they reset the wave, and now they're going to move back down into Rift Herald.
Nope. Good option here. Smurf starting to push in as well. Get that tower, get that pressure down.
And
look
again,
for Rift Herald.
Just these small windows of time where SuperMassive are just getting these tiny little organic advantages.
Just actually outplaying the lane swap here and execution.
It's earned them about a 1,000 gold lead plus the first blood.
I mean, excellent play overall. We'll have to see what they do with this Rift Herald next, as they've been continually outpacing Hard Random. And if you get an advantage here with this Rift Herald, if you outpace someone, it turns into so much more when you have the power of that buff backing you up.
Question about where that buff is going to be used. It did go onto the jungler. Typically when junglers do it, it's a bit more flexibility, especially early. You can consolidate that into your own jungle, speed up your farm. Graves is very good at that. Or you can use it to break freezes by going into one of these side lanes.
Solid option here. Miracle just farming up. Crit kind of reduced to following him around, at least at this point in the game. 43 farm going over to the Callista. Small lead over Lucian in terms of the numbers there, but the gold still very much in Lucian's favor.
Stayhost was setting up for a gank onto the mid lane. Not a ton of kill pressure against the likes of LeBlanc, especially with Gangplank.
Yeah, no real CC options there. A lot of damage. You're not going to be able to lock her down long enough to get it. The pink ward not going to get cleared out either. As Naru's starting to get a little bit more cheeky as he gets a few more levels in this lane. Suddenly Dumbledoge, Graves collapsing on the top side. Crit does have the magical journey.
They've also pointed out Dumbledoge, so they know that he's here.
Oh, here it comes. The stun's actually going to miss. Here comes the TP as well. This could be massive for them. Graves ult, or sorry, ult going down there overall. Gangplank against his flash. Not going to get knocked to the wall, but Seos is going to grab that kill. Good fight so far from Hard Random. Continuing to move forward, but it's going to be the one-for-one trade as they start to push forward. Is anyone else going to drop? Yes! Dumbledoge is dropping as well. The Nidalee execution power is just too much for them, and a great little skirmish coming out from Hard Random.
Again, Hard Random make the similar mistake that INTZ made against them, and that they don't gank the teleport. And by not ganking the teleport, they're simply just outmaneuvered globally on the map. The thing is Kira's TP wasn't used, but the global cannon barrage was. And so effectively, your GP gets to be there, but your LeBlanc is not.
Yeah, and it makes a massive difference in that exchange, and especially in these fights that start to go on longer. That execution damage from Nidalee is just so potent. And now, you know, got behind in the early game, right? Dies. Definitely not what you want to see. Has to blow flash early on, but suddenly we're back in the game. It's 2-1-1, 41 CS to 23. The Nidalee is getting bigger by the moment.
Teams just keep ganking the duo lane when TP is up, and then getting punished. Good job on Hard Random, though.
Yeah, great opportunity to turn it around there as the gold is now in their favor. Relatively evened out, essentially. Crit feeling pretty confident here as they move in the bottom side. They're pinging out onto the Lucian. Magical Journey up and available. They're not going to take this. I think they've learned from their earlier mistakes. Thresh moving down to make sure the Lucian will stay safe. Rest of the map relatively balanced overall. We start to push forward here. We'll have to see if there's going to be any result there on the bottom side of the map. When we get a sec to look back into the game. In the meantime, Lucian just going to make it safely. Lantern going to be used to save him from there, and Nidalee not going to take the time to pressure out. Instead, takes her advantage, moves to the mid lane, clears out that pink ward that she spotted earlier but was unable to deal with.
Checking quickly in on itemization, the primary benefactor of all of those kills did go in the hands of Stayhost, like you were talking about, that Nidalee having the Tracker's Knife as well as the Runic Echoes. Other benefactor was Kira, sitting with 100% kill participation right now, 3 assists off of that massive cannon barrage.
It's exactly where you want to be. Sheen already coming out, making it that much easier to trade, and it's going to take a long time for him to get running, but it's going to make it that much easier. Miracle. You don't have to take the magical journey.
He wanted it.
Yeah. It's not so magical when there's a barrage of bullets following you through, but a lot of damage going down there. Miracle on the backside. Potentially looking for a play.
Good play.
Moving forward. Double Doge taking so much damage. Cannon Barrage coming in as well. Stayhost backing off. Their TP being used to back them up. It's going to get canceled out.
Dumble Doge played that so well mechanically, making sure that when Lucian took the Lantern, that he actually stepped forward so he wouldn't be right next to his AD carry and give Bard a free Cosmic Binding, and then continue to outplay that with the Flay on the Nidalee pounce, and then into a beautiful flash.
Excellent maneuvers overall. Naru and Kira continuing to fight each other, both looking for the kill opportunity as Steos and Stomaj are in a similar boat. So much blood going down in this game. Is that... Sometimes I forget it's a LeBlanc. Thought that spear was going to hit. Thought that would be the end of Naru, but he just wiggles his way on out of that one.
I prefer hops.
I like the wiggle. I know it's a hop. Kind of a leap more than anything. It's pretty long range. Nidalee hops. That's my in-depth analysis on the distance of jumps and the appropriate terminology for you.
It was nice, but we do have resources moving because Naru has been shipped down so low health. Well, I was going to say we did have hard random kind of moving together into this mid lane, but it looks like Licorice is actually going to join his AD carry.
Yep, opting to back off here, get a few more stacks on that Sightstone. Upgrade to that Frost Fang. No major items coming out for the supports yet. Stayhost and Smurf clearing out the vision here. Continuing to funnel farm into that Nidalee 58 to 44 as we check in on that jungle matchup.
Big thing is itemization right now. Lucian just sitting on the BF sword while as Miracle has the completed Hurricane. So Kalista is actually fairly relevant in a 5v5 right now in terms of her AoE damage. Looking for that Blade of the Rune King next, surely.
Yep. A little bit behind in the farm, of course, in addition to Lucian having Cole, so not quite where she wants to be, but still approaching that 2-item power spike that we always love to talk about, the Blade of the Rune King. Runeance, just so potent and powerful in team fights. Has to be careful, though. Moving forward, trying to pick fights at that point. We've already seen so many teams throw away advantages on poor fights as Achu and Stomaj move onto the bottom side of the map. Dragon is live. They do have the option to take this one or try to start this one up if they want.
I don't think they want it, simply because Gangplank.
Oh!
Good flash.
Ooh. Good flash from Achu, but they do in the end get the flash for themselves, so pretty solid advantage over there. Hard. Taunting in the face of the opposition.
That's 2 ultimates, Fate's Call as well as the Tempered Fate, right before a dragon fight. And yes, you did trade it for Lucian Flash, which is always going to be a big deal, but he's fairly self-sufficient with his Relentless Pursuit anyway. But I actually think that this is a bit of a missed opportunity for SuperMassive to not pull the trigger on the dragon, simply because, again, 2 big ultimates are down.
Yeah, of course, really a smaller, much smaller window to punish on the side of SuperMassive, but there is a punish option open for them if they look for this fight. They're turning their attention there. Still a lot of time left on those cooldowns for the Bard and the Kalista. Now moving into mid lane instead, I guess using this opportunity to try to push in. This is the siege pressure we talked about, the fear of LeBlanc diving. Gangplank pretty comfortable to neutralize that with the Cannon Barrage.
It's fine as long as they're willing to push some sort of objective, knowing that they can look for a 5v5 right now. Again, I would have preferred it be the dragon, but still trying to fight against a dragon against a GP is a little bit risky.
Yeah, you don't really want to put yourself in a box that is the exact size of the Gangplank ultimate. I feel like that's a little bit too easy of an indicator for him. It's an opportunity to fight there. Sidestep on the chains. Shooting bullets, not going to hurt the Witch in the mid lane.
Meanwhile, top lane.
Oh, not quite going to get it, but Smurf is moving in, and the Nidalee has enough damage to try to execute out here. Thaldron flashing over the wall. Quick knock up, and then knocked out as Steos will grab yet another kill, but SuperMassive are quick on the response.
Yep, knowing that the enemy jungler is top, they're going to quickly trade his life for the dragon and get back in position to make sure that no damage can go onto their tower. So did get a response, but obviously you'd rather your tree not die.
Yeah, not so good. Of course, really, we just have to praise Steos. I was really questioning whether or not he'd be able to keep up on the Nidalee, as it's a pick that's been very risky for a lot of teams, but he's doing so well despite falling behind early. 3-1-1, working towards that Rod of Ages. And that fast clear speed coming in handy, 80 to 58 in the CS department.
The biggest thing right now is that Stehos is the highest level on the map. As a jungler, that's absolutely absurd. He's level 11 and his mid laners are level 10.
It's so strong. Max level spear, max level takedown at this stage of the game. Graves just now hitting level 9. Only now getting the max rank Q for himself, and just, I don't think they could.
A more powerful smite.
Yeah. They have everything at their disposal with that Nidalee advantage. We'll have to see what they transition it into. And the Rod of Ages is now finished 15 minutes in. That is an excellent timing.
Yep, pretty standard, which means that it'll be fully online around 25 minutes. A Chew getting pretty cute.
Nice little dodge there. A little bit late reaction time on Liquid, but nothing really at stake, so it's not going to matter too much in the mid lane. Although the mid lane pressure is continuing to come out now on the side of SuperMassive. Gangplank not there to clear the waves. They may be able to get a lot of damage down here.
LeBlanc's not there. Excuse me. Like you said, Gangplank.
Oh, Damage going to get caught up. Here comes the spear. Does he have the timing right? No. Small mistake. Binding still going to land, though, as they move forward. Double Dose trying to make his way through the cannon barrage there as Lacrit starts to move forward. He's not too tanky, but he is going to block up the culling. Little Sprinkler thrown out to deny some vision, and SuperMassive are just going to back off.
Naru coming for the flank, however. He's standing on a pink ward, so they do not see him.
Moving in. Not going to have an opportunity. Not low enough health bars for him to feel comfortable. Really barely dodging out of the hook range. SuperMassive just going to have to back off, but you can see how hungry for blood BBB is.
Good job from Hard Random to stall out long enough to get Kira back in position, however. So now that the GP is in front of the tower, it means that SuperMassive can no longer siege into that freely, which is why immediately they eject their members out into the side lanes. So now it's about, can Naru have kill pressure on Kira?
I guess we're about to find out. As Naru has a set of sights there. Blue Trinket coming out to spot him. Kira not taking any risks, and the Nidalee coming down to make sure that at worst it would be the 1-for-1 trade, but
Stehos has gotten up behind him. He went over the dragon wall.
Naru has both of his distortions and his flash available, but if he tanks that Nidalee spear, it can make a massive difference here.
It's more so with the information that Naru has gotten 2 members bottom, can SuperMassive take something else on the map?
Oh, great hook, but the oranges are going to make it all okay. Here's the 1v1 we were waiting for. The Nidalee clearly could have taken down Graves, but the backup there from SuperMassive denies the duel potential. That Nidalee crushed that Graves, by the way. That was one combo. Took him down to a third health. If he had 2 more seconds alone, I think he would have been able to take him down.
Level 12 to level 10.
Not where you want to be. Itemization difference, of course, the Warrior Enchantment and the Double Longsword versus Rod of Ages Runic Echoes.
And suddenly the siege is on from Hard Random. Good calling.
A little bit blocked out by Nidalee there as Kira's looking pretty comfortable in this exchange. Moving forward onto Naru. Swap back. Flash! Does he think he can get this one?
Yeah, it's because he's leading him up to a choke point. So the reason why Naru has to burn his flash right there is if he continues to run away in that straight line, he'll have to go through the choke point because his distortion cooldown isn't up enough, and that's just free barrels.
I mean,
or even worse, a free cannon barrage.
I mean, free trade of flashes there at the end of the day. Maybe a little bit more punishing for Kira, but Hard Random are now pushing in the mid lane, and a great sidestep on that hook. They're not going to get punished for it whatsoever.
And we've come to a bit of a stalemate. Both these teams wanting to siege the last standing outer tower in that mid lane, but trying to siege into a Lucian calling as well as a Gangplank respectively. It's Naru trying to make plays on these side lanes to open up pressure for SuperMassive, but Kira playing it very well.
Thought we might see an explosive game. Looks like it might be a little bit longer, a little bit slower this time around.
They're still trying to be very proactive and fight each other. It's just that no one's been successful in locking someone down, but there's been tons of action.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the important distinction here is that they're not playing slow. It's that both teams are so good at what they're doing that they're not leaving the openings there to get punished. And I think that this favors hard random pretty heavily.
Stayhouse has been a little bit more oriented on the power farming. Naru.
104.
That's cheeky.
Gangplank, 30 CS behind, but he's also gangplanking. Until we look at those gold numbers exactly, we can't be sure. And additionally, 3 assists. And this is the champion that wants to get to 6 items anyway.
Yep. Very expensive build path. Does have the Trinity Force online for him, however.
Moving forward, double longswords in there as well. Maybe looking for the Essence Reaver here. He starts to jump in.
He wants the pink ward.
The barrel being thrown down, I love that. Kira's like, if you come in here, I'm going to hit you in the face with this barrel, and you're not going to like it. One auto at a time, though. One cooldown at a time. They'll look for the engage here. Dumbledore's actually going to be locked up. They're going to have to commit to this fight. Once again, missing the timing on the Tempered Fate there as Lacrit is trying to make it out. Magical Journey going to take him to safety, but Naru dishes out too much damage. Support burned down in an instant. Naru making it over the wall. Smurf trying to find a way to disengage as Lucian gets another kill on the front side, and hard random. They've split up the team fight too much at this stage of the game. 2 already dead. Smurf potentially overstaying is welcome, but Kira's on the backside. 1 barrel drops. The second, not going to find a single target as the Maokai uses him as an escape option, pushing forward. Hard random keep looking for the fight, but Supermassive come out on top.
MVP is that pink ward on the mid lane brush, however. The fact that hard random couldn't see who was in that brush allowed Naru to make these last minute picks.
Very, very good performance overall. Bard, Magical Journey comes out. LeBlanc immediately goes over the wall and just absolutely destroys him. It's the power of the pick, and the Bard, unlike the tanky supports we so frequently see paired with Kalista, just doesn't really have the luxury of getting thrown into the enemy team and feeling comfortable.
I mean, he can, and then just immediately Magical Journey out.
That's what happened. And then apparently sometimes there's a LeBlanc on the other side of the wall just ready to murder you. Hard random, though. Gonna set their sights on this dragon. Try to get something back from that exchange. Moving forward, they will grab their first dragon, Naru. Starting to hurt pretty bad. Morellonomicon, as well as the pieces for a death cap already coming out.
And he's shadowing under to pick up the farm, which means he's not here to assist his team in stealing this or challenging this blue buff, but it will finally be the tower for Supermassive.
Grab this one down. It was a long, slow take, but they finally are able to get this one, 35.9 to 35.0. So almost the 1K gold lead, but we're 20 minutes in, so that's not really a massive difference anymore.
An issue that hard random's composition will run into is their hard engage. So without the Tempered Fate or the Cosmic Binding, they pretty much have 0 form of hard engage other than like a Fate's Call or a Heroic Charge.
Yeah, very limited in what they can do. A lot of theoretical options, but every one seems to require a lot of setup. Collateral damage there. I guess they're trying to find the kill on Akira. He's barely making it out. Just a sliver of health. It is going to force him back, though, and make it that much easier if Supermassive want to put some damage down on this tower. And
that's the big victory here. Not necessarily picking up the kill, although that's always going to be nice. It's chipping away at this Gangplank and removing the wave clear from the map.
Here comes the cannon barrage, though, because Gangplank never really runs out of wave clear, does he? As he does manage to clear that one out, but that is a major cooldown burned. So very smart proactive play coming here from Supermassive to try to shut that one down. TP coming in onto Thaldrn. A good option to try to go in on this one. They're trying to find a greater advantage. They've cleared the wave on the bottom side, but hard random are already pushing in, so can they find this kill quickly enough? Thaldrn just takes so long to kill. They're spamming spells. It's healing him up. He will eventually drop to Kira, and they're doing their best on the bottom side to save the tower. Supermassive are ready to punish. Naru could be in trouble, but at the end of the day, it's a tower for a kill in this game.
Yeah, it was a good call. I'm going to give it to Supermassive because effectively you're giving a gold bounty to 2 members on hard random versus a global gold bounty on the structure to all members of Supermassive. I would gladly trade my top laner's life for a free objective as well as the teleport summoner out of Kira.
Yeah, I think kind of questionable decision-making coming in from hard random there. The huge priority on Maokai costing them so much. They might be able to turn it into a second tower, though, as the Maokai still is yet to respond.
They got nothing.
Double distortion. Huge damage, though. Culling coming out. The Nidalee could theory be locked down here. That's so much damage, but the stun will come out as well, and the Cosmic Binding and force the fight to stop.
But they just did huge damage to the enemy jungler. Continuing to push up mid, could even theoretically walk towards Baron and start commanding vision of that area.
Definitely an opening there. Definitely an opportunity. Double dodge, though. Maybe looking for the hook over the wall. Game of inches here as the Crypt barely dodges that one. Now setting their sights on the tier 2 tower, but the Gangplank, pretty decent wave killer options. Triple barrel coming out. Naru Getting very aggressive, is getting hit up. He will pull back on that one, but Seos is going to get locked up. He's so squishy, he's so vulnerable, but Smurf is there to disengage and make sure the fight doesn't happen. He knocks up 3. This is the opportunity to go in. Gangplank double barrel is going to hit. Dumbledoge taking so much damage, but Thaldrun is the front line they need. Bard, Tempered Fate, what a god, he finds 2. Can he get more? That's the kill going down. Grabbing the Maokai as well. Beautiful fight from Hard Random.
You cannot let Licrit get barred. This guy CC'd locked 2 primary members for about 5 seconds. He nails them with the Tempered Fate, comes in, immediately finds, I believe it was a Cosmic Binding into, like, Fate's Call into Tempered Fate into Cosmic Binding.
Yeah, Smurf, okay, as we move in here, maybe looking into another fight, but beautiful fight at the end of the day. We'll have to see. Hard Random potentially denied Baron here, maybe just a gold advantage, but it's a pretty big gold advantage that does even the game back up. Smurf, hungry for blood. He just keeps going onto this Graves. He may have overstayed his welcome, though. Callista as well.
Shut down.
Got him. Well, interesting exchange there. Still actually gold in favor of SuperMassive, but very, very good team fighting coming in from Hard Random.
This is where they like to thrive. Again, Licrit really leading the charge. Likewise, the online Gangplank, if he hits those massive barrels, if he finds the Cannon Barrage, is going to assist there, but Licrit, this guy.
It's so great. Poppy comes in, hits up 3 members with the hammer. The other 2 members immediately after
Fate's
that
call in.
Get Tempered Fated.
Into the Tempered Fate, into a Cosmic Binding.
Yeah, it's just incredibly oppressive team fighting. And we said that this team was kind of the jack of all trades, master of none. If you group up like that, if you let Bard and Poppy get those in kind of engages, master of everything. They'll just shut you down.
It's a very eclectic team comp. You got like some poke, you got some siege, you got some hard engage, pick.
Listen, I got a strat here. We're going to throw you in, you're going to knock him up, I'm going to knock him up, we're going to make him gold, and then everyone's going to die.
And I'm going to throw spears.
I'm going to throw spears.
I'm
going to shoot a barrel. The Gangplank strategies. He now moves his sights onto Thaldrun, does an absurd amount of damage, actually. Thaldrun really can't duel this out, but it's going to take so long to secure this kill. And suddenly, Achu is there. No! Kira overstaying his welcome. The Colon giving him everything he needed to close that out.
Okay, Thaldrun, I don't get to talk about you, but that was awesome. Not only did you kill at least 1 barrel that we saw while the camera switched over to Lucian to make sure that he couldn't get a barrel proc on you, but you used your Twisted Advance to dodge the 2nd barrel, as well as lock up for your incoming AD carry. Well played, sir.
Very good. Always, curious to see which one of the top laners is going to come in for SuperMassive, whether it's Fabulous or Thaldrun. But Thaldrun honestly playing fabulously as well, so don't even really have to decide.
He killed the barrel, and then he dodged another one.
That's such a huge ad. That's the thing I love about new Gangplank, right? Is that if you're really good dueling a Gangplank, that man's never hitting a barrel. It's great. Oh, moving in, Steos, taking some damage. Naru hungry for blood here.
They realize, oh, deep teleport.
Moving in, look for the TP on the backside. There's the hook. They're getting landed up. The box goes down as well. Cannon Barrage comes down. Achu exhausted and not looking comfortable whatsoever. Thaldrun is so tanky, but suddenly he's the only member on the front line. Gray's looking for an opportunity. This is the most split up fight we've seen all game. Suddenly Smurf is alone. It's the 1v3, and he's going to start to get burned down. He will drop, but as will Dumbledoge. Stamaj looking to get aggressive here. Kira running away with as much movement speed as he can manage.
Good, just push mid. Just push mid. Okay. Dumbledoge, mad props. I just completed our complimented Thaldrun. Now it's your turn. 4 members tried to exit out of a magical journey, hits Flay on multiple members, lays down the box, and delays Hard Random from exiting that team fight. The reason why SuperMassive didn't immediately collapse on them is because they were waiting for the Cannon Barrage to end, so they just stood on the outskirts. This gives SuperMassive the numbers advantage as well as the inner track onto this mid-tier tower.
Oh, huge opportunities here, though. Is going to dodge out. Tempered Fate there. Massive thing to dodge there on the side for Achu. But good exchange overall. Half that turret's health down. One more mistake from Hard Random could finally break the inhibitor line.
It's right now SuperMassive just ripping Hard Random around the map, and Hard Random struggling to keep up and to continue to be very reactionary and very skirmish-based.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for them. They burned so much in that last fight. And despite all their best efforts, they're now 2K gold behind. Dragon on the table. It will be the 3rd for Hard Random as the Colon comes out just to lay a little bit of poke down to Smurf. Got an 1/8 of his health taken out there. Nothing significant quite yet.
The Cannon Barrage is just about to come out there for Kira.
Maybe looking for a flank. Naru hiding in the back line.
That's why SuperMassive do not want to fight this Dragon. There's no reason to stack up in such a small area against the barrels, against the Cannon Barrage. Instead, get the superior position on top and mid lane with your creep waves.
Looking to posture that way. A massive creep wave on top side, as you said. So giving up a lot here to try to contest this Dragon, but Hard Random just want to fight. Here looking forward. Tempered Fate goes down, saving the Poppy that we're not currently watching because the Dragon has dropped in their favor. Smurf gets the knock into the wall. Dumbledore's burned down immediately. This is a great fight for Hard Random. Whatever they gave up on the top side for CC, they have made back with that kill and that Dragon.
It looked so clever from SuperMassive, but they just don't quite execute to the fullest extent. If they had just gone mid, just sacrifice the Dragon, go for the inhib tower.
Oh, Spear coming out. Naru going to sidestep. They're not going to catch that LeBlanc, but they get everything that they wanted, and you're right. Just excellent execution coming in from Hard Random, and fear of pulling the trigger has been an issue for so many teams in IWCI, but looks like Gangplank and the rest of the Hard Random not having that problem.
The barrel.
Got him, got him, got him. Good flash out of Kira, takes himself to safety, but that LeBlanc damage is just getting scarier and scarier. Kira may need some resistances sooner.
That's why he opted into the Merc Treads as the Gangplank, despite the fact that he has the Citrus Fruit, so it's just about the MR against the LeBlanc.
Watching this game now, of course, wondering what the next move is for both these teams. Vision getting laid down on both sides. Baron potentially contested. What the objective might be Nidalee. Hook is going to miss, however. Naru hungry for blood as they start to push forward. Crit's suddenly in trouble. Steos getting pulled out. Bates call going down as well. That's the Nidalee drop. This could be a massive moment. They're not able to turn it around. Great flash coming in from the Lucian. Double lock up there. And
here comes the tree.
Clean kill pick up. TP on the back side. Is he going to go through with it? It looks like he is. Poppy, potentially questionable. Tempered Fate not hitting anyone as they move forward. Disengage on the Maokai. Hard Random burning so many cooldowns for nothing, and still a one-member advantage in the favor of SuperMassive.
Continue to push up mid lane. You have a creep wave. It's a little bit deep behind you, but...
You had a single low health cannon creep, and the flash comes out as well. A miracle. Not going to get hit the chain. Zoned away from this tower for a brief moment, and that may be all it takes. They're not afraid to tank this one. It gets so much bonus resistances. Oh no, Naru overstayed the welcome. Great knock into the wall there. Smurf punishes the mid laner, just a small overextension, and everything starts to turn.
Just a miscommunication, the fact that they split their damage. If they had all just decided to commit to the tower, it would have gone down, but splitting focus. Are we zoning them off the tower? Am I hitting this guy? Am I hitting tower? What's going on? Where am I?
Hard Random have already shown us that they can pull the trigger, and if they can do it again here and secure this Baron, it'll be a massive advantage for them as Kira TPs into this one. 4 members descend upon it. Nidalee finally respawns and is there as well. SuperMassive have to contest this one. Graves already burned Smite on the blue buff, however. Could be a huge mistake as they start to move forward. They're looking for that great play from Double Doge. Is a miracle going to get burned down in an instant? The Graves just does too much. Smurf suddenly in the back line, but he's not even worried about the Lucian. Does finally get the knock into the wall as they bring it into this one. Steos will not go down, but he finally drops in the end. Looking for the disengage, hitting one. It's the Graves all alone in the backside. Does he have the damage to flash away? Lifeline going to pop. He's got the lifesteal. Can he get the Poppy or the Bard as well? No. Bard gets the shutdown. What an absolute bloodbath. Keep moving forward. Dumbledoge will not die.
He's stalling for Naru.
Looking for an opportunity. Naru is on the way. Magical Journey going to take them to safety. Kira relatively healthy. 2 for 3 overall. 2 for 2.
But that's the confidence that we were waiting to see from SuperMassive. Smiting the blue buff, because you know that there's no way that you're going to be able to outsmite the Callista Rend, so you're not competing for the Baron. You're just going to rush in and kill them, and you need the CDR to do so.
Yeah, solid choice. We saw how effective that Graves is. 4-1-3 now, despite falling behind the Nidalee in the early game. Nidalee so far ahead in farm for so long, but now 171 to 134 is the Graves. Starting to take the lion's share of the resources in terms of the jungle, and doing very well.
Reset though, Achu very quickly trying to set up a slow push on the bottom side. It does give a window of opportunity for Hard Random to walk into this Baron Pit and lay down vision, should they choose so.
Tempered Fate going down, snap back, pull back from the Lantern.
Distortion.
That was excellent, by the way, just everything about that. Hop forward, hop back, Lantern back, we're good. Nice ult, friend. Decent damage coming in from LeBlanc, but the combo's not going to complete, so.
And it gives time, again, for Achu to set up the slow push on the bottom side of the map. So Hard Random.
Oh, have to be careful. Dumbledoge potentially caught out. Dumbledoge is going to drop. Thresh down. Once again, Baron under siege as Hard Random may start to turn their attention elsewhere. Oh, moving forward.
It's just the support, so they can't pull the trigger on the Baron. Not the worst thing to lose. The wave still building up in the bottom.
Will still be them pushing in. 3K gold advantage for SuperMassive, but getting picked off. The tempo is in favor of Hard Random. Chu forced to dash out there. Coling being burned, blocked out by Poppy, trying to get this wave here. Naru on the flank. Oh, knocked into the wall. That was a big mistake. Not quite quick enough on the trigger finger there to make that one work as Smurf is ready now to dive the tower. Maokai goes in for the knockup. There's 2 knocked up by Poppy as they start to push back. The bloodbath continues, but Chu is just too strong. What an outplay. 2 kills in an instant. 3 as the triple goes over to Lucian. That's going to be Baron for SuperMassive.
And that looked like disaster as the fight continues.
And Exterminio.
An ace coming out of SuperMassive very late in the game. They have their pick of any objective that they want on the map, and they're ramming it up mid lane.
Hoping to find that inhibitor. They have a wave behind them. They're ready to take this. The tower was so low, it's regenerated a little, but they're going to be able to burn through this one quite quickly. Now taking the inhibitor as well. Maybe even looking for the Baron next. These mid-game death timers just so long. And finally, a very substantial advantage for SuperMassive. 5K, 35 minutes into the game.
And again, looked like disaster initially. The fact that Naru was caught by a great heroic charge against the wall coming in from the distortion, no one saw that.
It's okay, buddy.
Round
just
2.
Wait, we got him. You can just pretend you made it. The lantern. It helps.
Oh.
Right. Potentially hoping to shut this down. Is stalling it out. I think they can still take it, but Callista and Nidalee are on the way. They have to be careful.
Teleport.
Flank on the backside, but the teleport has been spotted out. They have to be careful here. Smurf is in. Home guard is denied by the LeBlanc, however. Is going to deny the Baron, but still the gold lead remains in favor of SuperMassive.
Going to compliment SuperMassive, though, by deciding that the objective they were going to take after the team fight would be the inhibitor. Mid lane inhib doesn't give them the best Baron control as, say, the bottom inhib would, but it does give them another pressure point of the super creep wave.
Oh, bye, Naru.
To try to play with so they can get the Baron later on.
Good option, of course. Hard random. Making sure to pick up this dragon. Pushing it to their 4th dragon. This is pretty massive for them. Start to push forward into the game, and the itemization just continues to grow stronger for each and every member of every team.
Run.
Scared does have the Hex Drinker. Was that sweet BM on the sit down on the stool there? Either way, Kira making it out just fine. Throws out a stool, feeling pretty cozy. PvP stay house continuing to clear out the jungle, and the map once again looking relatively even.
Immediate pings going out, however. Kira is sitting on base, has his TP available, is now choosing to exit with the home guard. But both teams, this could be it, the last team fight.
Forward, Gangplank throws down the Cannon Barrage, making sure to deny the Baron option. But not too much damage sustained, and they can just...
That's a big ultimate, though.
Very crucial for these coming team fights as Nara starts to feel pretty confident, throwing down the 2nd chain, looking for the disengage. Great hook coming in. Can they blow up Smurf? Excellent Mikhail's Crucible to save the day on that one. Now just backing off, exchanging cooldowns, no commitment from either team quite yet.
Naru, though, does have the pressure point in the mid lane because he will have a super creep wave behind him, which allows SuperMassive to get back onto the Baron. Naru is behind enemy lines.
Steos is alive and healthy. He can look for the steal. The Baron is slowly burning down. Looking for the barrel in. There goes the Tempered Fate. Now hoping to find the engage. Coling coming out, dishing out a lot of damage. Smack into the wall. There's a Chu in trouble. He is zoned out of the team fight. Kira suddenly so low. The Graves takes out the Gangplank. Jungler taking down the mid laner. Naru hungry for blood. He's going to grab another one. What a phenomenal play. Exhaust not enough. Smite it or stopped by his own clone though, but it's not going to be enough as Bard finds the kill. And SuperMassive clean up the team fight. One more ace to close out the game.
Beautifully executed there. Frankly, hard random just mismanaging their cooldowns on specific targets. The fact that the Tempered Fate was used on the Baron as opposed to trying to lock people into the pit and allow his team a superior position might have cost them the game.
So risky. Heal comes out to close this one out, making sure they can burn down these towers. There's no more time. And SuperMassive, without a doubt, secure the top seed and will move on to face Saigon Jokers this Friday. What an insane game, and what a masterful performance from SuperMassive.
What a masterful performance from either team. Want to really give props to Naru and Dumbledoge in particular stepping up, although it was a team effort across every roster.
Of course, Dumbledoge, doing well, getting aggressive with those hooks. Naru finding these opportunities.
Oh, he did so much work in very key team fights. Yes, he got picked out a few times, but in particular, that flay into the death or the box to stall out the Bard magical journey was brilliant. His team got so much off of that.
And really, Graves as well. We saw the Nidalee get so far ahead in the early game, and I was quick to praise Steos. And Steos did play very well overall, but at the end of the day, Graves in those team fights, dishing out so much damage, closing out so many kills, and doing so... I'm just stunned at how well they were able to team fight and how confident they were in picking their targets on the side of SuperMassive.
No, yeah, I completely agree. They went head-to-head with Hard Random, who looked like they got the edge in a couple of those team fights. It looked like another scenario, like, okay, someone's going to have to outsmart the team because you simply can't outfight them. But Naru, Dumbledoge, Graves in the end, I'm totally spacing their jungler's name, but they came up spades.
Of course, looking forward, we now have the bracket stage ahead of us. We'll be starting it tomorrow, and you can see semifinal number 1 is going to be INTZ versus Hard Random here. Intense matchup, the first best of 5 these guys have played against each other, and something that we can definitely look forward to. Hard Random falling a little bit flat here, but did absolutely dominate INTZ just 1 match ago.
Not dominate. It was an insanely close game.
Yeah, you're right. Insanely close. Well...
It came down to a base race.
They did have a significant advantage, though, leading up to that. That was a 6-0-5
but
trundle.
No one can ever say that they got dominated when it comes down to a base race. If you're like, oh, man, I just dominated you that game. And it was like, in a base race? No. No, you didn't. We were trading objectives.
Fair. Made better decisions.
They did make
and executed much better.
That is absolutely fair to say. Hard Random made the superior call in a high pressure situation. They were out team fighting INTZ. That is completely fair. But INTZ also in that game did come into a gold deficit and were able to compensate for it, at least for a small margin there. So that is sure to be an explosive matchup, a very close matchup, and I cannot wait to see these teams in the best of format.
Yeah, very excited to see that one. And of course, our 1st and 4th seed will also move on to play on Friday. That's going to be the Saigon Jokers versus SuperMassive. So this one, SuperMassive looking nearly unstoppable, but the Saigon Jokers have shown that they can adapt and that they can fight well, and that if you give, like any of these top teams, if you give them an advantage, they can absolutely snowball the game.
Yep. It's big 5v5, but the thing is SuperMassive just looks so on point right now. Their map play, their team fighting, their skirmishing, there's playmakers across the board. Again, the entire roster is really stepping up at individual moments there. So Saigon Jokers, they're great at the skirmish, the reactionary play, but they fall slightly short when it comes to making these really high pressure decisions on map movements.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. Hopefully they have a little bit of time to adapt that. They have the flexibility of a best-of-5 series to kind of move and adapt as the series goes forward. And it still remains a question mark for both teams. So while Saigon Jokers absolutely are the underdog in this set, they still do have a lot of opportunities to adjust and can definitely take the set if they find a way to adapt and to kind of evolve faster than SuperMassive in this set overall.
The question for me in Saigon Jokers versus SuperMassive is going to be the mid lane matchup. Naru, again, pretty much on point with that LeBlanc. Came up huge in the last team fight. You have 2 mid laners for Saigon Jokers, and it's kind of like who's going to show up, who's going to have the better matchup there.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Warzone again, but there's also a lot from this guy that I don't think we've seen quite yet, and especially with Naru's proficiency on Assassins, it may make sense to put him up against someone with a little bit more Assassin potential, an area that Warzone just isn't quite as comfortable with. But once again, you have that flexibility in a best-of-5 series. It's rare that other teams have experience playing against that, because while the sub position does exist within League of Legends, how many teams realistically have used it well, or I mean even at all over the years?
I can think of a few in China. And 1 in Korea.
That's true. 1 in Korea. SKT. Shout outs to the boy Easy Hoon, now in China.
No, I feel like we got really good matchups. Obviously, most people are going to be looking towards INTZ versus Hard Random just because it's been so close that it can go either way. I'm not going to count the Saigon Jokers out quite yet. They have a ton of experience, again, coming from the GPL and being in so close geographically to the LMS regions and getting partners there. Likewise, SuperMassive on the Turkish server, having such close geographic proximity to the EU West server and also getting to scrim. I know the Turkish teams scrim like EU LCS teams, so that to me is also very interesting. Is how have the what's what I'm looking for? Big Brother regions next to them definitely influenced their play.
The high-skilled practice opponent, potentially that kind of Big Brother example. But of course, from myself, from everyone at the broadcast, thank you so much for watching the final day of the regular stage here at the IWCI. Of course, tomorrow we will be back it will be Hard Random versus INTZ Esports for a best of 5, decide who will face or who will make it to the final. We'll see you guys tomorrow.